Where's Terry?
We'll wait till our
Good morning,
producer comes
everyone.
on.
This is This Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. I'm Carolina from California Cover Up, so I want to give a big shout out to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. We're the Biz Chicks, and welcome to Biz Chicks TV. Today is Thursday. We are here with Robin Shimizu and friends for Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu. And Robin always has such a great guest. I want to send out a disclaimer because you never know what's going to happen with live TV on the internet. We started and it kicked me out. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So that's what we were laughing about at the beginning of the show. So we're going to get started. Robin, how are you today?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you so much, Terry. Is Francine in the background? Thank you, Francine. Our diva, tech diva.
Yes, I'm pushing buttons today. Francine is mobile, so that could be another reason why things are so smooth this morning.
Well, today is Thursday, Happy Healthy Habit Day. And today we are lucky enough to have Jill Weston with us. She is our she's my yoga and meditation guru. I've been taking a lot of online classes with her, yoga nidra and meditation and sleep and pain management. And it's just been really, really, I love it. I love the online stuff. Anyway, Jill is the owner of the Breathing Space. It's a yoga and meditation studio in Elk Grove, California. And she's been doing a lot of online classes lately, which has been really super neat for those of us that's in her community. She's a teacher, a yoga teacher, a yoga nidra instructor for both students and other yoga instructors. And she teaches us many forms of breathing and meditation techniques that are easy. Well, they're really easy to follow and really easy to understand. And she's very, very calming. And that's her forte is that's why we call it the Breathing Space. That's her studio. So with that, I'm going to have Jill introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself. And today we're going to have conversations without chaos. So yes. I think that's perfect subject for us today, Jill.
Thank you both. Always glad to be on the show. I feel like I am fortunate enough to have a pretty calm, easygoing personality, and that's been for years. Some of you who know me, I used to train horses when I was 14, and I always got the horses that no one else wanted, that couldn't be controlled. I did some work in corrections for 30 years and very often got asked to assist people in crisis situations, crisis intervention teacher. I actually got asked to be a hostage negotiator, which scared me that they were even asking me. I was like, wait. Now, granted, I never had to use those skills, but people came to me and just said, you're calm, you can figure things out, you can get people's attention. Mm-hmm. So that has been kind of the theme of my life without knowing it. And I came to Open Breathing Space, which is the meditation practices. Very accessible, very easy. A lot of the practices that I love and I teach don't require sitting cross-legged. You don't have to chant. All of that is okay, but it's very mainstream access to help you calm your chaos. Do you want me to go right into today's show or?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, Terry has something.
Yes.
I can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Terry.
I'm sorry, I had myself muted. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Terrell Ballard Mitchell. She's watching. Terrell, tell us where you're watching from. Are you still in California? I thought you relocated. And guys, tell us where you're watching from. We'd like to know. And then we're going to put Jill back on. I'm going to put you in the solo screen, Jill, so you can talk to us. Okay.
And welcome, Terrell. Terrell actually helped me calm my chaos too with some insurance issues about going live, teaching live classes. So welcome.
Fantastic.
So today, very often I come on and we do a meditation Today, I think there's a need to talk about conversations with chaos because we have changing times. COVID-19 obviously has had put us in a different mind space, body space. There's been tragedy, there's been adjustments, and a lot of challenges. And what I want to focus on today is the challenges with communication and the effect that I feel like it has on our mental and physical health. It's also not just my thoughts, it's things that I've observed. I've not had a lot of interactions face-to-face with people. I've been social distancing, but in teaching my classes online, having people reach out to me, I feel like I've taken in information about the effects on mental and physical health. So I'll outline how I've seen conversations change, the input that I've had from people, and how conversations have changed within households, at work, among families, neighbors, and even strangers, which I find curious. How some of those conversations have changed due to technology, social media, and the fact that we're not sitting as much face-to-face with some of the people that we're used to. We'll talk quickly about the effect on our mental and physical health. And then I'll spend a little more time on how to recognize your own communication needs and how to have more effective conversations or communication. So I think it's an obvious, I won't spend a lot of time. You may be with your family 24 hours a day, which is new and different. For some people, that may be a treat. I literally heard a lot of everything from celebrities to online interviews with people to friends that I know. Not necessarily a sad state of affairs, but maybe you don't know your household as well as you thought you did because you're around each other. So we were maybe used to going to work, taking the kids to soccer games, running our business full time. And in our household, we were only together maybe an hour or two for dinner, homework, maybe only an hour of free time to even communicate. And then we're to bed. So people are saying they kind of feel like they're living with strangers. And again, my goal is to have you take a look at who are you in this situation and then how do you interact with others. We're communicating through masks, for example. So I know for some people, if there's some issues with your own communication skills, it's difficult to talk through a mask. You sound muffled. Can you use your eyes more? What, like in stores, are people being friendly or not? Because you're not used to seeing people and communicating a certain way. I find myself struggling. There's Zoom, there's Messenger. One day, a friend of mine who is very good with tech, she's like, hop on Marco Polo. That's the way that we're going to talk about a project we're working on. I tried 2 or 3 times and I had to tell her it's just too much for me. So I was very patient with her and I communicated my needs and I didn't struggle with it, but I told her I can't do Marco Polo. It's just too much. Also, it's new kind of to wave to strangers for some of us. I travel quite a bit, and in many foreign countries, it can be very automatic to smile, wave at a stranger, take up conversation. That may be different for us. I noticed in the first couple of weeks when I was out, because I am out walking quite a bit, there was almost a shared camaraderie, a shared, hey, we're in this together. You didn't have to say that to the person that you were, passing by, but it was a different kind of a wave, like, hey, I know what you're going through. As the weeks have progressed, I've noticed people head down a little bit more, not engaging, not waving as much. On social media, it's not, my reaction isn't funny, but it's kind of a shaking the head and smiling and just like, what is going on? A lot of kind of yelling at strangers online. So you're in a Facebook loop, not so much on Instagram, and people stating their opinions, their preferences, what they feel are facts. And as the weeks go on, watching how people are responding to that. Even sometimes I'll watch a stream and 50 people will post almost the same thing. I'm tired of this. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. None of that is wrong. But then people jump on the bandwagon and they're posting the exact same thing. And by the time you've read 50 times, I'm sick of this. I hate this. I don't like this person. That's 50 messages that are stressing your system. Nothing wrong with saying it, but I think we've moved away and maybe we never got to a lot of problem solving. So again, today I want to discuss, like, how much are you paying attention to what you're saying and what people around you are taking in? So all of the daily breaking news, the press conferences, maybe news about your business. For me, I'm a very small business. I don't have employees. I watch 2 or 3 days of the trying to apply for business loans, all of that. And honestly, I didn't even try because for me, it felt like it was too overwhelming. I know of a couple business partners, people that I respect that tried really hard to get the money. A couple were awarded, a couple weren't. So again, all of that information of, we have money, you can have unemployment, hop on and offer an online class, it will be great. Just the information alone can be very overstimulating. And also the opportunities. Terrell said, yeah, my eyes are tired from Zooming so much. And even the pressure of you think you're supposed to be doing some of these things because it might make you feel better or it might give you more information. The first week or so, I pulled out my list of podcasts that I hadn't caught up on. And again, it was too much. I was trying to watch things live and on time. And I think the last time I was on, I said I found myself running through my house one day going, I'm going to be late for this class. I'm going to be late for this podcast. And then I thought, Jill Weston, what do you teach and what do you know? I hear Robin. I stopped and I took a breath and I thought, okay, it is a live class, but there's going to be a replay. I stay up sometimes till 2 a.m. I'm not a great morning. I can watch that replay at 2 a.m. I don't have to run through the house and gather up my things and go do that. So the idea again is all of this shapes a very potentially a stressful outlook, and it affects our nervous systems and it affects our communication. One of the ways it affects us the most is the nervous system. I will have, if somebody can type into the comments, here's your homework. I want those of you who are watching live on the replay to look up the word vagus nerve. So it's V as in Victor, AGUS as in Sam, nerve. And if not, I'll go back and post it. The vagus nerve is a nerve that runs from your head all the way through your body. And if you think of branches of a tree, it kind of looks like a tree kind of turned upside down. And that's just to give you the visual of these nerves that spread throughout your body. So I want it to be homework for you to look up the vagus nerve to really understand how you and your thoughts and your behavior and the way you take in information can affect you. And then I'm going to move back to communication. So look up vagus nerve. That's your homework. And it affects our communication. So even normally and under stress, I think we start saying things like, you always do this. You never help with the kids. I'm always on Zoom. Why are you doing this way? Why are you doing this that way? For families that have their kids at home, I don't have kids and I didn't understand for a little while, understanding that you might have a 6-year-old or a 17-year-old who's trying to graduate from college and they're having to access Zoom for their classrooms, I think 3 or 4 different times during the day. So I was online, and there was a mom, I think she had 5 kids. Her partner, her husband was home to help, but she was trying to navigate 5 kids on 5 different Zoom platforms and running her own business. So how do you communicate about your different needs? So if you're in a household and you're having to reschedule things, have you ever even talked about a schedule? Because maybe it's automatic. It's automatic if you get up and go to work and the kids go to school. It's pretty automatic that the kids get their stuff together, you're making the lunches, they're out the door. What about when you live in a small house or an apartment and there's not room for 5 different Zooms to be going on? So talking about schedules and how do you communicate that? Saying to someone in your household or even a business partner that you're maybe working online with, "Oh, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing this." I kind of understand tired, but what are you tired of? So digging down a little bit deeper beneath this overwhelm can be really helpful. I'm going to take a little pause in case there's any questions. I also feel like I can kind of fast. The goal again is figuring out, who are you in all of this? And so when you're saying things like you're tired or I'm frustrated or you don't help me or they don't care, what is underneath this? So Brenna's talking about the vagus nerve and how her daughter may get some help to interrupt the seizure activity. So again, understanding, we think we're just saying words, but our nervous system, as Brenna was talking about, is taking all of this in, and almost think of it as we're taking all of this in and we're spitting it back out. And so are you communicating your needs? Are you communicating your fears? Are you telling people where you need support? Or are you just saying, I don't like this. This isn't working. I hate Zoom. I just want, my business to open. Those are all okay, and it's a given. But are you communicating with stress? There's a lot of discussions about, should businesses be open? Should they be closed? Should we open more carefully? I've heard of, I haven't seen people having discussions in stores about, why don't you have a mask on? Or walking up to people and looking at them. And there's this implied you should or shouldn't have a mask on. So know that affects your nervous system. Yes, we have free speech. You can say whatever you want. My goal today is for you to take a look at how you're having conversations, both with yourself, with people in your household, with friends, with strangers, whether that communication is face-to-face or if it's online or in an email or FaceTime. Who do you want to be in all of this? And we always get caught saying things that we don't mean, that we didn't mean to. And if you catch yourself, that's great. My greater concern on our mental health and our stress level is the more subtle things that we're saying, the more subtle ways that we're communicating, and maybe the harm that we're doing to ourselves and to others that we're not aware of. Again, are you saying things that maybe are coming out of your fear, out of your anger, out of your irritability? So I always recommend to people, and this was something that I was also trained in terms of crisis intervention and languaging, figure out first what you are feeling, and that can happen by taking a deep breath, taking a moment, literally stepping away for a second, and have a conversation first in your own head. So if Robin has done something that I think is making me upset or has made me upset, maybe I literally take a step back and say, you know what, I'm going to picture myself talking to Robin. And here's what I want to say. Robin, you're making me mad. Robin, you're really irritating me. Robin, you're not meeting my deadlines. And I think to myself, okay, that's probably not going to go well. And what I offer up, and I know, because I know Robin, I know, number one, her feelings would probably be hurt first. So try saying things. Number one, take a deep breath, take a step back, practice your conversation, and figure out what's your need. Sometimes we have conversations because we truly want to be heard. So I say, what's your end game? Are you trying to problem solve? Are you trying to learn something about the other person? Like maybe they're not wearing a mask and you think they should. Do you want to walk up and say, hey, this is all new to me. Tell me why you're not wearing a mask. Tell me why you haven't, made a deadline. Talking to grandkids or kids, tell me why you're upset right now and you're on Zoom. Or are you having conversations to gain power, to take back your own good feelings? So how that works, I tell people, is if someone has made you upset or you've chosen to get upset and you get in your car and you drive somewhere and you come across somebody and there's a little trigger, they're doing something that irritates you and you let loose on them. You're stupid. You shouldn't be doing this. How dare, ah. And then you get done, you're like, that was a stranger. I don't even know them. Where'd that come from? You're carrying your old stories. You're carrying your stress from earlier in the day at the person that originally made you mad. But in our systems, if we're not feeling that great and we're feeling out of control, it feels good to take back control. A way to take back control is to override people in their conversations, to say to people, you did this, you did that, you shouldn't, blah. You're talking, putting out your energy on them in a weird way. Temporarily, you start to feel better. So because we're not having the freedom to do exactly what we want to do, it might feel good to try to tell someone else what to do, or to correct them, or even shame them or make them feel bad. So figure out your end game with communications. Take a breath, practice your conversation. I'm going to use some words that may not fit for you. Develop your own words. But simple things, like a lot of times if people are ranting at me, which doesn't happen often, I'll just say things like, okay, I hear you. I'm not having to agree. I'm not saying they're right. I'm not even saying it's okay for them to rant, but saying, hey, you know what? I hear you. Even backing up just a tiny bit, which may feel counter to what you've been taught, and saying, all right, I hear you, and then lean back in. Or saying to people, you're talking so fast, it appears you're really, really upset. I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear you right now. I'm not hearing what you want. You know, when a kid has a meltdown, telling them, stop crying and tell me what you want. Their vagus nerve, their nervous system has engaged. And when you hear or people who are like, I'm upset, they literally can't stop what they're doing at that moment. And even sometimes telling them, take a breath, that's one more thing you're telling them to do, versus saying, wow, you're breathing really fast, you're crying really hard, all that's fine. You know what? Keep doing that until you feel ready to talk to me. Or I'm sorry, I can't hear you right now. Like, I'm not understanding you right now. Go ahead and do what you need to do. And then when you're ready, let's talk. Saying to people, especially in your household that you're friends with, can you say that differently? You know, you shared that 5 times how to get on Zoom. I know you're getting frustrated with me. Here's how you could help me better. Can you show me pictures? Can you send me instructions? Brenna just posted that she doesn't mind any of this. I do what I do to have less work, and she's more comfortable. So even knowing that about Brenna, if I were going to have a kind of conversation with her, I might start with, hey, Brenna, I know that you're pretty calm with all of this and you have everything in line. Please understand, for me, I am really anxious. I'm really frustrated right now. And that's a good one, Brenna. Thank you for posting that, because people who know me find me very easy to communicate with. Sometimes people who don't know me, they're like, are you just chill no matter what? You know, you don't even seem like you're interested. You don't even seem like you're bothered with my issue. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I need to hear that. And I need to say to them, no, I'm just a normally pretty calm person. I'm not disregarding you. I'm just listening. So again, take cues from people. Terrell talks about the power. Yeah, watch people who have that need to like lean in and talk, and I'm not done yet, and you need to understand what I'm saying. Not really. I need to hear you, but when I hear someone say, no, you need to understand what I'm saying, you need to believe what I'm saying, they are very attached and tied to their beliefs and maybe their facts. And so with someone like that, I'll just say, all right, I hear you. And then at some point I might say, you know what? You've been talking a long time. I feel like you're saying the same thing. What is it that you want from me? Well, I want you to believe this, this, and this. And it's like, you know, that's not going to happen. I've been willing to listen to you, and I don't believe, you know, we're not believing the same thing, and that's okay. So again, if you're listening to someone like that or living with someone like that, You can also interrupt that cycle by saying, okay, you had your say. Thank you for sharing that. I'll consider that, but I'm not in agreement with you. Okay. And you don't have to make people wrong. So saying things like, I hear you, or when you say X, Y, and Z, this is how I feel, and I don't want to feel that way. Different than when you say X, Y, and Z, you make me angry, you make me hostile, you make me upset. You are giving away your power, and you're telling somebody that.
Right.
So to recap a little bit, and then we can take any questions. To have conversations without chaos, and to really strengthen, literally, again, I'm not a doctor, but to strengthen your immune system, figure out your end game with conversations, figure out what is stressing you, what is keeping your vagus nerve overacting and sending out the wrong signals to your body. So in this time of, there is great distress and tragedy, there's also some great stories of kindness coming out of this. And even that can be overstimulating, because on one hand, you're like, oh my gosh, this many people have died. And then, oh my gosh, look at what this kind person did. And oh my gosh, there's now new news about what COVID-19 even is. And then, well, wait, I should be up and running with my business. So when all of that goes on, take a pause, take a step back. That could be physically, in your mind. I stopped doing classes for a while. I stopped scheduling some classes because I wasn't 100% sure. They were all going great, but I was a little confused. Like, what am I doing? What's my why? Where am I at in all of this? And I was like, you know what? In May, I'm just not going to schedule a lot of classes. So come back to who you are in this time. And the way you used to communicate is going to be different during this time. As the weeks go on, as there's changes, your communication style, what your needs are, what your fears are, how you need support is going to change. So keep checking in with yourself and communicate from there, both with yourself and with other people. And then hopefully you'll have more conversations without chaos. So that was a lot of talking. I'm going to stop and see if there's any questions or comments, if either any one of my hosts want to ask anything. And then if there's time, and I'll defer to Terry if we want to wrap up with a short little breathing at the end.
Little woosah. Okay, so I'm going to put these comments up because I know you can't always see the comments when you're talking. So Thrill says she finds some people get angry with the calm because they want you to be a part of their chaos. I think it feeds some people just like calm feeds others.
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, Terrell, you can get angry. You can just say, I really am. I'm listening. You can lean in. I find even sometimes like putting my hand on my heart, say, you know what, I'm listening to you. Or if you're comfortable, you can put your, I'm listening to you. And just say, I'm a really calm person. You don't have to do the little side, the inner voice conversation of, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not, because I'll do that. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, they're really going. Okay. Yep. Not my circus, not my monkey. I don't say that out loud. And I do love a phrase, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah.
I'm going to here and watch you and maybe eat popcorn. I will listen. I'm not being disrespectful, but you're not pulling me into that. And literally, I feel like instead of a little angel or monkey on my shoulder, I have my vagus nerve on my shoulder, and my vagus nerve is like, listen, but no. So excellent, Terrell.
So then Brenna says the short crying, breathing term sniffling. I think she's referring to this statement. Her youngest used to do that a lot. And then she says she didn't correlate it to the vagus nerve.
We don't know. We don't know. Because again, when we're yelling and talking loudly, our body's responding because they think there's something wrong. And so hormones are released. Our body does a lot of different things, thinking that, oh my God, what's going on? And there are times there's a lot going on, but very often a simple conversation gets you heated, gets you upset, and your body thinks they have to respond at 100%.
Okay, so then
She became a phone friend.
She says,
So
I
what
do
do
not
they?
feel like I should be helping somehow.
Excellent.
So I became a phone friend for seniors.
Excellent.
Okay.
And imagine again, seniors who are probably not able to communicate as much with their family, or they're not having visits. One of my friends has to visit her mom through the window. She waves through the window. She's in a care facility and has dementia. So imagine what it feels like for seniors to not have conversation. And I think, Brenna, it's great that you're doing that, because just to simply sit and listen. And a lot of seniors have great stories. And so during this time, someone who has a lot of patience to sit and listen and validate who they are is like wonderful. That's wonderful.
So those are the main comments over there. I think you touched on a lot, Jill. One of the things I want to ask you is, how do we practice being gracious in this time? Being, you know what I mean? Letting people have their space to vent. Because I've seen some things, like you said, online that really, I was just like, really, I didn't know that was in that person, or that they had that much pent up in there.
Sure.
But when we're under pressure, things come out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How do we handle that when we're shocked at people's behavior? Wow.
I think what I encourage a lot is, there's people that do a lot of good work with this. And one of the people that does some work talks about, he has you hold up your finger. I would be doing it with you if we were live. You can only control to the end of your finger. So this is my finger. This is someone else's. I can only control to here. I can't control what someone else does. So if that other person, this person is like not being gracious, I can't make them, but I can remember who I am, how I want to react, and then I can literally hold space for them. And hold space may sound like an airy-fairy word, but it goes back to what I say of saying, okay, I hear you. You know, Terry, I disagree with you. Terry, I'm not understanding fact, ABC. I don't have your same experience, but I hear exactly what you're saying. You were upset the day you went to the store. You're saying, and so parroting back to people, you don't have to agree. It sounds like you're upset because of X, Y, and Z. Is that what you're upset about? I'm sorry you're upset. No, I can't, I can't be upset for you. I can't take on that cause. Here's how I can help you. And just saying, all right, I hear you. And then what I do, I call it for my protection, is literally take a little step back, and not judgment, but like, wow, Terry's really upset right now. I don't need to be upset with and for her. That's not going to help her. So as you realize, like like, what am I doing? Not my circus, not my monkey. Here's what I need to pay attention to. I'm listening, I'm watching. I don't need to jump on here and go, oh my God, I'm upset with you. So knowing who you are, paying attention to your own body, and yes, giving them grace. People can feel and think, I'm going to say, however they want to. Now, the behavior and how they act on that, but you can say and believe whatever you want, and I don't have to join in with that, and I also don't have to attack it, depending again on the context. But I think sometimes we, even anatomically, if we see someone who's upset and they're raging and they're talking loud, it creates a reaction in us, and we have to watch for that. When people are, like we say, joy is contagious. Well, anger and stress and outrage is also contagious. Real quick, I remember I went way back. I went to it was a Kings and a Lakers game. and my parents gave me and my then boyfriend tickets. So we went, and I didn't know that much about basketball. I was just like, okay, Lakers game. It was the height of I was gonna say the love-hate. People loved the Kings. They hated the Lakers. I got physically sick at the game. The amount of hate, like the Lakers were playing really well, and the amount of people screaming and yelling. We hate them, the curse words, the standing up, the like literally the vibration in there, and I got completely sick to my stomach. And I remember people around me, including my boyfriend, he understood what was going on with me. He's like, he's like, it's a game. He's like, we don't really mean this. And I was like, it was at a fever pitch that I felt like if fans could have run on the floor, they would have hurt some of the Laker players. Like it was. So remember when we see like the crowd mentality of things and how, again, whether it's joy, the people in Europe who are walking out on their balconies, or I think in New York too, and like spontaneously playing music or clapping, that starts with one person clapping. And then other people are like, oh, that's infectious. I want to do this. Well, anger and outrage and frustration is contagious as well. So to give people grace, to me, you have to come back to yourself, and whether you say things like, is this my circus? Is this my monkey? Coming back to just going, wow. I tell people a lot of times, and I'll watch my mic, putting a hand on your chest, putting a hand on your belly, even just bringing yourself back to your body, like what am I doing right now? And going, I'm getting upset, and this doesn't have anything to do with me. And on a little deeper level, sometimes not giving people grace is a power move. They're not thinking the way I want them to think. They're not behaving the way I think they should. There's another lady I do some of the work, and she talks about, whose business are you in? Again, if someone is hurting you, hurting your children, that's different. But whose business are you in to even be thinking that someone should be acting a certain way?
Yeah, well, Terrell says, Terry, because we're both from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. She says, Terry knows about the blue collar bowl. Steelers and Browns shots are fired literally.
Wow.
And she goes on to say that fans, short for
fanatic.
Fanatics, Yes, we can. Everything. I just want to ask you this, Jill, because my philosophy is, I have several things. One is, no is a complete sentence. And the other one is, everything is not for us to fix. And I think that's what draws us in, because we're so compassionate. We want to fix everything for people. We want them to be okay. And as a result, we take on a lot of stress.
Sure. No, I would agree. And I think that's why I said of coming back to, like, who are you in this? What is your end game? When you have a conversation with someone, whether it's over a game, or your favorite team, over the latest announcement about COVID-19, about whether or not you should be on Zoom, how you should run your business, what is your end game? And are you trying to learn and take in information? Are you trying to give someone grace to hear their story? Or are you wanting to be right and overpower someone? So just coming back to, like, who are you? Who are you? And why are you saying what you're saying?
A lot of times it's not right, it's not wrong, it's just different. We, as an individual, we may not have handled it that way.
Yes. And thank goodness for that. I think that's part of, I'm of an age where I think all of our countries are very different, but I would say, especially in the United States, we say we're a bit more of a melting pot. Many different cultures, ethnicities, ages. People are living longer, which is changing the culture. We have more input and history from our elders. We don't need to all be the same. There's the quotes going around, and again, people are fighting about that of we're all in the same boat. No, we aren't. We're in different, okay, we're in different boats, but we're in the same storm. And then you hear people say, no, we're not in the same we don't all have to be in the same boat, the same storm. We don't have to. And if someone says, yeah, we're in the same boat, I hear you. We're in a different boat, I hear you. I need to know what boat I'm in. That's the only thing that really matters. I need to be aware of what other people believe and want. And that's how I can have a conversation without chaos. But the end game of a conversation is not you believe me, because then that means I'm not going to believe you. The end game to me of a conversation is I'm educated, I learned something, I know better how to support someone. Like that's my end game in a conversation, or sometimes it's just to listen. And I don't like chaos. That's the other part too, is sometimes people like chaos. For me, it's a little easier because it's almost automatic. Yeah, I'm not afraid of it. I'm just like, again, my vagus nerve is back there going, nope, I don't need this. This is not a benefit. So.
Wow.
Well, I learned a lot today about the vagus nerve. I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not an expert. I could probably present for about 10 minutes on it, but I really want people to have that want to go look it up and read more about it. I think it'll be more meaningful.
Well, I can remember my mother saying, "You're getting on my last nerve." That's what she was referring to. She's a psychiatric social worker. Maybe that's what she meant. But I think she was not the only mother to use that term.
No. And that's the problem. We have so many nerves. By the time you're on that last one, you're like, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, so now here is a question from Carol. She says, do people really know how to converse? Well, that's what today's conversation was about, Carol. I don't know. I think that's a universal question, and we're going to get different answers from all over the universe, right?
Right. And the reason I brought it up, I think, especially in this time, because I think there's quite a few people that know how to converse, know how to communicate in their normal situation. So think of it as you've traveled to a foreign country, or maybe even traveled somewhere in the United States where just things are different. We're in that time where this is a different time, and we not have to. See, I'm telling you, I would encourage people to really pay attention to how you're communicating, because these are different times.
Now, Lakeisha has a comment here. Robin, can you see that?
Yeah, it says, friends and I went to a hockey game in college 20 years ago to reduce stress by yelling, because that's all they do. Before the finals, crazy. Now I run or box exercise. LOL. Everybody distresses differently.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and again, it's great comment, because they knew their end game. And it is. Sometimes it's fun to be in a crowd of people, or at a music concert, and you're singing, you're hollering, you're shouting. It's a great point, Lakeisha, of just being aware, like, what's your end game? What's your end game?
She says
and are you hurting someone or not?
Yeah. She says she does that, or she breathes.
Yeah, or breathing.
Or breathe.
But definitely get that stress out of your system. It's
okay.
It's just not fair, I'm going to say, or right to take your stress, and hear me, taking out your stress on someone else who has nothing to do with it. And even if it's people in your household, check to see if the stress that you are taking out, the stress that you are pulling up, is about them. Again, you got 5 kids in your household, you got a partner, a husband, wife, partner that you're living with that you haven't spent much time with, that's valid. But sometimes the way that we're communicating, we're pulling up old patterns. When someone talks to me like that, it reminds me of X, Y, and Z. When someone tells me this, and we're going back in our history, and you can't give grace, you have to give grace to yourself and go back to who are you in this? Who are you in this conversation?
Okay, so Terrell says it's a lost art, and she wants to thank you. This was great and
Oh, you're
very
welcome.
insightful.
Thanks
Yeah,
for tuning in from wherever you are these days.
yeah.
And to Brenna
So,
and Lakeisha, I think we're on as well.
yeah,
Thank you.
Brenna, Lakeisha, Cecily, and several other people were in the conversation today.
Okay, because I can't
So,
see the.
so we just
You know,
want to thank them. Go ahead, Robin.
one of the things that I think that Jill said today that really is going to stick with me in terms of how do I communicate, it's the open-ended question or open-ended conversation tip that she gave us, which is you just ask gentle questions back just to get clarification from them and try to understand better from where they're coming from. So I thought that was really helpful for me. And I wanted to give a tip to our viewers too, because I'm living in a house with two people now that Fred's passed, right? So I have my sister and my nephew here. And what I do is I come up to my room and I have my sanctuary time. So I just tell them I'm going up and I'm going to go, work or do whatever I do in my bedroom. So this is my sanctuary. And I just get away and get some time to myself. So there's ways that you can, within your own house, find space for yourself to de-stress and to take care of yourself. And then what else do they say about, you can't control what other people do. You can only control how you react to them. And that's helped me a lot, which is if I can just remember to stay in my lane and not try to control the situation and control myself and how I react. So
Exactly.
that's how I've been trying to, because stress right now, that's my big thing. I want to help people de-stress. And I think this is a good subject for everybody right now while we are dealing with a lot of negativity out there in the world.
Yes, Christy's in here today too, and
Oh,
yeah,
oh
and
nice.
someone's talking about boxing. What is this?
Well, Lakeisha
Um,
was saying that she did boxing. Oh,
hmm That was. Oh, what's this? Is that Brenna?
oh, she says she goes to
Boxing.
her garage.
Oh, Brent. I think Brenna said yes to Lakeisha's
Oh, I
boxing
see.
and working out
Yes. Now, who's this that goes to the garage? I go to my
Brenda.
garage. There
for
with
her
me, Robin.
sanctuary.
And we all have our little sanctuaries. I asked people what was their takeaway today, and so
Oh,
my takeaway is that everything is not for me to fix. Let me be more gracious with people and make sure that I de-stress and don't take on other people's stuff. You can't park it here. Keep it moving,
I
people.
love it.
Don't park it.
I
Don't
love
forget.
that. Don't park
Don't
it.
park.
That's great.
Don't park here. It's a
Yeah,
no parking zone for that. Okay.
very good. I like that.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you so
So,
much, Jill.
You're
Jill, we
welcome. Thank you
enjoyed
for
it,
having
and
me.
I think we needed to have the conversation. Thank you so much for making this a safe space to have it. Robin, what do we have going on? Oh, did we get Jill's contact information? Jill, are you going to resume your online classes because some of us need it? Uh,
Yes, they're on Facebook Live in a Facebook group for a replay. That's why I felt comfortable stopping for
okay.
a little moment. So there are online meditations, yoga nidra on at my breathing space Facebook group. And then this Sunday, I am doing a Mother's Day class on Zoom,
Ah,
yoga nidra. So the classes are available. I didn't leave people hanging. I just took like a little
okay.
bit of a breather,
All
and
right, so
I'll post all that afterwards.
thank you. And Terrell says her takeaway here, Robin, is take takeaway. No need to react to everything. Pick and choose. And
Yeah.
Lakeisha says this was so good. Yeah, uh, I agree. So, what do you have for us next week, Robin?
Next
Do you know
week
who our guest is?
we're gonna have Linus is gonna be back with us, and
Uh-huh.
I don't know what she's going to bring to us for next week, but we're always really happy to see Linus. And then we have Tanisha Dandridge that's coming up the Thursday after that, and after that we
Mm-hmm.
have Maureen Stevenson. So we've
Oh,
got
I love Maureen.
Yeah, it's hard because there's so many great people to put on.
I know, but you know what, Jill, I just really look forward to it when they say you're coming on because, calming my chaos is essential.
I understand. Well, reach out anytime. I still do like old-fashioned phone calls. So if you want to
Okay.
call and say, hey, I need 10 minutes, 5 minutes of breathing, I do still know how to pick up my phone. And I will do that for you.
Praise
Jill,
God.
can I
may
ask
get
you a
some calls.
question?
Sure,
So,
Robin.
you were offering meditation and yoga nidra on replay, right, on your website, on the Facebook, Facebook site?
In my Facebook group, yes.
So what that means is people can go on at their convenience.
Anytime, 24/7 on demand.
And
so
people need to understand that it's so available.
Yes.
To your own schedule, and it's also donation. I'm sorry, Terry, go ahead.
No, I was trying to find out how she's getting paid. Say that about the donations now.
Yes, there's a link.
Finish, Robin.
Yes,
Robin,
so she has
talking about the donations.
So she has these options that you could donate, or you could take it for free, or whatever. So it's just so generous.
Yeah.
It's
and some people, again, based on their income, or one person said, "Hey, when I get this
right now,
check, they can either pay by class, or some people are saying, hey, at the end of the month, I'm going to see how many classes I took. I'm going to see what my finances are like." One person put down $50. She's like, I don't even know when I'm going to take a class, but I'm giving you $50. And I just said, okay, thank you.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I like that. Awesome. But let me remind you, people, the workman is worthy of his hire. We're not all broke. Pay Jill. Okay? Because here at BizTech, we're here to make sure you run a profitable business that's fun to run. Okay, guys? So the fact that she is so gracious, we need to reward her for that. Because her gift, she spent a lot of time honing her gifts and talents, and we really appreciate you, Jill.
Thank you.
Brenna's saying something over here. Wait a minute. My takeaway is a better way to cope with those that want you to feed into their chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she found some techniques. Nice. So and then Lakeisha says hello, and thank you. It was good. Thank you, Brenna. Jill does a great job. So ladies, it's been a pleasure. You please put your information in the chat. Jill, I got some people who are going to be calling you.
Okay.
From my business, who I think need to have better conversation. And calm down, okay? But we haven't been alone with ourselves for a long time, so maybe people are just
that's part of the problem. Yes.
Doing the mirror work. So with that, ladies, I'm going to let you have the last word, and then I'm going to close out. Do you have anything else you want to share?
I'm going to say thank you for everybody live and on the replay, and I will put my information in there. And it's always a pleasure to be on the show.
We love you, Jill.
Thank you so much, Jill. We do love you so much. Thank you very much. And everybody, thank you for tuning in.
We enjoyed you today. Remember, tomorrow is Friday. We'll be talking tech in English. So don't be scared. Bring your friends. Come on in. We're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. There's so much, we've been forced to move into the internet even deeper as a result of all this going on. So come on over, find some tips and tools to help you do business better. And remember, people, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day.